Hi, all. This is Saida Belgara from Becoming I Am here with the astrology of Wednesday and Thursday. This is March 25th and 26th. These are very important days because there's a lot going on. First of all, the moon is in Cancer. Secondly, the sun and Venus are in Aries, two in Aries. Then it has a conjunction in Saturn and Neptune that both of them are also in Aries. And Chiron is in Aries. And then finally, there is a sextile in Pluto in Aquarius. Do you see that? Do you see how we have the Sun, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron all in Aries? If you were having a birth chart, if I was looking at your birth chart and I see these 5 points in the sign of Aries, I would be like, oh my God, um, you're hurting for a big shift, like a big learning process. Okay. Those energies, when there's like a combination of a whole mess of planets and astral energies lining up to one side, it's creating a very strong and impactful shakeup in that sign. For you guys to know exactly how this will affect you, you would have to know your birth chart. So that's like Googling your birth chart. You would need to know your name, your birthday, the place you were located, you were born in, and the time you were located, you were born in. Okay, I keep saying located, because that will tell you what house your birth chart Aries is located, and that will tell you where this upheaval will strongly take place in your life. This is what I mean by the Great Reset, because it's a sense of identity. You are forcing a sense of self to come through, a sense of self that's been hidden to the world, even to yourself, right? Muted by, I want to say, the way the world told you things were supposed to be. The fact that it's Venus and it's the sun, those are two very strong signs, because you're getting clear about what your real desire is, what your real passion is. What is it that you really want to create? You're also connecting to this energy of the structures of this world and the structures and the discipline of yourself that you need to bring forth from your subconscious to use the key of Chiron to break free from this limitation. I'm feeling like this is going to be a very, starting this Wednesday and going forward, I think the entire month of March, if not, I want to say April, this is going to be like you're going to put your game face on and you're going to take action in what it is that you need to do so that you can move forward. The sextile in Pluto and Aquarius is very important because that's you sending out the net, kind of drawing people, places, things, energies, experiences into your life. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be drawing in just good experiences, because sometimes you need some upheaval. Sometimes you need some destruction to be able to create from the new, because you can't create from where you're at. I hope that you understand what that means. And then, so just keep that in mind, because whatever you're drawing in, it might feel like curses, jinxes, successes. It might feel like something is being done against you, but truly it's your spirit calling these things towards you because it's tired of living a lie and it wants to destroy what's around it so it can finally be itself. And again, how is it going to affect you? It depends on you. Where is Aries located in your birth chart? Besides that, we also have the moon in Cancer. So we're starting off this whole entire thing on the fundamental belief systems that we have, the fundamental connections that we have, because Cancer is all about your nest, your close networks, this fundamental relationships that we have around ourselves, with our family members, with our loved ones, with our belief systems that create you, even the ones that you might not be active in, but they're active in you. And that's important for some to know, that though you might not ascribe to certain belief systems, if you were indoctrinated to them when you were a child, you are still bound to that contract until you get out of it. Okay? Now, that being said, let's talk about how this is going to affect you. If this is located let's say in the first house, I have it all written down, so you're going to see me looking down. If it's looking in the first house, it's all about your personal brand, your sense of self. This is what you're going to be breaking down and creating. If it's in the second house, it's all about your money, how you make it, where it's at, and how to take control over it. If it's the third house, this is a mindset and the way that you communicate based on that mindset. So because you change your mind, you change the words that come out of your mouth. Okay. The fourth house is all about your home, your generational curses. So this is your fundamental self, belief systems, your core self. This can be even your physical health, because if you're thinking about the temple of your body, some generational curses or some generational trauma transfers through the bloodline through illnesses. So it's addressing that. Okay. The fifth house is creativity, or what makes you happy, right? So this is when you start unfolding parts of yourself that you didn't let the world know that you had, because you were afraid of being like shamed for it or ridiculed for it. And this is when you're like, I'm gonna let my crazy fly, right? The sixth house is about health and helping others. And that has a lot to do with your emotional health. I feel like, as you know, how I told you that the fourth house has to do with your body. This that's the health of your body. This is the health more of your emotional self, your heart space, the things that will make you feel safe and secure. Okay. So that's more psychological. Then we have the seventh house that has to do with your relationships. And this isn't just the relationships with people externally, but this relationship with your own self. So if you've been in a personal tug of war with yourself, this will be the time when you're going to have that tug of war hit you a little harder, because you're trying to heal that. Eighth house is personal transformation and sexual energy. This has to do with your sacral space. Sacral space has to do with your inner child work. It has to do with shadow work. This also has to do with the woman wound. All of us have it because we're all women. We all start in the womb as women, and then we shift later on. So we are all men and women inside one vessel. And so this is energy of sacral energy, knowing how to use your energy to create things that you want. Ninth, belief systems. This has to do with that thing that I told you before about being born in a certain religion, and then deciding that's not what I want, and you just walk away from it. Well, unless you went through the whole process of clearing yourself from that energy of that contract that you were put into, it does not matter if it was not you personally that put yourself in that. If you haven't gone through the process, you're still aligned to it. You're just running away. So it's a need to return to that so that you learn the rules and then break free from them. 10th house is all about your career. So this is like, am I in the right career? Does this make me happy? Do I need to change it? Doesn't matter how old you are. 11th house is about your hopes. Hopes, that's, you know, hopes is connected to that sense of yourself, of knowing that you can get something even though you might not see it now. But it's also one where you're hoping so much for a change that you are not accepting. And so the part that might be difficult there is the fact that um, you might not like what you see, that you might have to give up on. And the 12th house is the unknown. And that one's a little difficult because that one is like a tower moment where you're like, oh my God, my whole entire life is a lie. So keep that in mind in this process, because you're not the only one going through this. And a lot of people do not know anything about astrology. So if you have that in mind, they just think everything is going against them. And what do people do when they feel like everything is going against them? They panic. So you might have a lot of crazy people around you for a while. But this is the process of coming to the light. I hope that you use it for your benefit.